What's up, guys? It's your boy Trey, aka TAKK, here with another Palworld TCG video. And yes, you read that right. We are going to try to go through the entire set 1 of Palworld TCG. I think it's super timely because it comes out July 30th, tomorrow. So I am super excited to be able to look at these cards. I really haven't looked at a ton of the cards yet. I really kind of wanted to be a little bit surprised for when the cards came out, but I thought, I think this is probably close enough. I need to, understand what I'm trying to pull, what I'm looking for, what decks I want to try to build, that kind of thing, where the synergies are at. So, I do have this set up on Palworld, TCG.gg. It is a fan-made, basically deck builder and simulator. Super impressed by it. It's really well done. I got to give it up to the creator for having, the time and the patience to be able to make this. So, shout out to them. If you guys are looking for a simulator, this is probably one of the best ones I've seen. And it allows you to look at the entire set, deck build, play test anything. And it has every card on it. I'm super impressed. So we're going to be going through red, blue, green, purple, and colorless. And then before I jump right into it, we'll do playability of the card, to kind of read through the card, see if we remember any synergies from the card. I'll also go over the rarities of the card, and then I'm also going to tell you guys what my chase cards are, what are arts that I believe are the coolest. That's completely opinionated. If you got different opinions, make sure to put it in the comments down below, along with any other deck ideas or cards that maybe I don't think are playable, you think are playable, or that I think are playable and that you just disagree with, So let me know all that. Like, I want to chat about it. I want to learn more, and I hope you guys are up for it. So the rarities that you can find are common, uncommon, rare, really rare, super rare, and then there's over super rare, which is kind of like a full art card. And then there's a special parallel, which is not only a full art card, but has, some special change to it, almost different colors, that kind of thing, different aspect. It doesn't use the same image. And then there's super special parallel, and those are like the greatest chase cards. Those are kind of the greats, the tops, you know what I mean? And so we're going to go over not only pals, but lucky pals as well. And then we're going to, just jump right into it. So starting off, and I'll go with the normal, the lowest rarity of cards to kind of like read through, and then we'll jump into the actual art afterwards. So Jormuntide Ignis, Savage, Lava Dragon, Lucky Pal, 8-drop, 1700 power, 4-strike, powerful card, for sure powerful card. And then it is act once per turn. You can either spend 3 or discard 2 cards from hand and stand this card again. I mean, you get double attack off of it, or you can attack and then have a huge blocker. For red, obviously this is the highest drop at 8 soul, and it's a lucky pal, so you can only have so many in your deck, but I think it's a powerful card. I think it's going to be difficult to deal with it once it's on the board. The strike I have a little bit of an issue with. 4-strike sounds at first amazing. It's like almost half my opponent's health. Absolutely. The issue is that when you're discarding 4 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, it's a pretty high likelihood they get a lucky pal off the top and you do no damage. I think a sweet spot, and probably what I would consider better, is a 2-strike or 3-strike, where you can still get a good amount of damage off, but your opponent has less likelihood of hitting a lucky pal, so they don't just negate the damage outright. Now, the 2 arts for this are absolutely incredible. You have the over super rare. I love a good full art. I mean, that's just... You just gotta love a full art. It's just fantastic. That's an incredible card. I'd be super pumped to pull, but this super special parallel is absolutely insane. I gotta say, this is probably gonna be one of the top chase cards. I think there's a couple more that'll be higher. I would say this is for sure top 10 chase cards. I would maybe say top 5. It would be up there. It would be up there. I think there's a few that outshine it just slightly. So red decks, I have a hard time believing they're not running that. Suzaku Hellfire Wings, 7-drop, lucky pal, 1200 power, 3-strike. I like that strike a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. I know. Don't hate me. Don't crucify me in the comments. But continuous ability, when your red card would deal damage other than battle damage to a pal, deal plus 200 damage instead. Strengthens this card's ability too. And then it's just doing plus 200 for all your other red pals and this one. Pretty awesome. Then auto on deploy, choose up to 1 pal and deal 700 damage to it immediately. You gotta love a drop for free damage. I mean, still 7, expensive, lucky pal, but overall a solid card. I'd be pretty surprised if Red wasn't playing this. It's pretty dang good. Now, I gotta preface that with, I don't know what all the lucky pals are yet. There could be other red lucky pals where you're just like, it just doesn't make the cut. You know, it could have to compete with Jormuntide. It could have to compete with a couple others that I don't know about yet. But overall, I would say pretty solid card. And then you get into its art. Again, love a good full art. But then you've got the special parallel, just insane, amazing. I have to give it up. This is one of my favorite arts. Just the flames, the way it's looking down into the bottom left corner / to its left, our right. Awesome card. I'm also a big fan of the gold lettering. And it just makes it look so nice. I'm just a big fan of it overall. Okay. So, Gobfin Ignis, Blazing Hothead, a 4 soul, 400 drop, 2 strike. Not super great initially, but then it's got a continuous ability. All of your other red pals get plus 300. Insanely good card when paired up, especially in early game when you got some quick low drops. Get plus 300, can take out either blockers or just direct smash into your opponent's structures, or just can be big bodies and make even stronger reds super powerful. So I would say he's good. I love the ability. I don't like that he doesn't buff himself. Buffs himself into a 700 for 4. I mean, you're getting a little bit better on a spread there. But I get it. And he's 2 strike. I do love the 2 strike. 4 drop 2 strike is pretty solid. So, Red's got a lot of options. Red's going to be traditionally your, aggro. It kind of always has been. It's always like go wide, attack quickly, overwhelm your opponent right away. So, that's kind of what they're going for here. I do also like the super rares. They kind of card break, which I love. If you see my Chrono Core TCG videos, they have a ton of those that break the edge of the card, and they're some of my favorites. So I do love that. Can't say I'm super excited about Gobfin, but I think he's still probably a pretty usable card in red. Okay, we got Bushy, Ephemeral Blade, almost said sword, which, I mean, whatever. So he's a 5 quick soul drop, 800 power, 2 strike, lucky pal. So on auto, at the end of the battle, this card attacked, you may return this to your hand. So, I'm interested to see where this comes into play. I think one of the best case scenarios is that you could drop him going for an attack. You either do 2 damage to your opponent, or you take out, say, an important structure of theirs or an important pal of theirs. You at end of turn put him back in your hand. Guess what? You've got an interrupt still. Like he's kind of a 2-for-1. You know what? Now that I'm talking about it, I like him a lot better. I think a 5/8 decent drop. I think a pretty traditional vanilla is like a 4/900 drop, but we'll confirm that obviously later. I think this would be a pretty solid lucky pal. I know that interrupts also are super important. I've heard people want to hit when building decks 8 interrupts in their deck, but potentially there's a rule coming out that you can only have 4 interrupts in your deck at a time. So that'll change up our numbers when deck building in the future. I think Bushy, very very solid card. You're going to have to decide, though, is he one of your 8 lucky pals and how many you put in deck? That I don't quite know yet. The super rare art is not much different. He's a little bit more zoomed in. I don't quite like that. I wish there was a little bit of a break somewhere. But you can't win them all. Reptyro, or Gorger. I almost said ogre on accident. Which might still be kind of a cool name. So 8 soul, 1500 power. Fantastic drop on that. Strike 3, I still like that. Auto on play, get 3 wood. The resources in the game are wood and food. Some cards just, have that auto on play. on deploy, get some certain amount, and then other cards will allow you to expend it, just like he does. On his act, once per turn, consume 3 wood, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1, and I think that says 8 cost. Yep, 8 or less gear. 8 or less gear among them, and deploy it, and shuffle the rest of the cards with the deck. So you get a free deploy, especially if, just from him being deployed, you get a free deploy of 8 or less gear, which gear, super powerful in this game. I'm a big fan of the gear. And they usually have an on-deploy effect and then some kind of recurring effect, which is super, super awesome. So, I mean, you could do some damage turning over one of those gear that sometimes have an on-deploy, do a certain amount of damage, and then him swinging in for a 1500 because, again, in this game, guys, Pals do not have like summoning sickness if you play Magic. If you're familiar with Cyberpunk TCG, they don't have lag, so they can attack on the first turn they're deployed. I think he's really solid. I think it's great that he's also not a lucky pal. You can slot this guy in pretty easily to a red deck. He's obviously late game. I mean, you've got to get to turn 4 before you can play him, and then after that, he's taking 80% of your souls to be able to play. So you just got to be careful. You got to resource manage really, really carefully with that guy. So with this super rare, I very much like it. He card breaks over here. He card breaks hugely up there. Big fan. I wish he kind of covered the 8 a little bit. That'd have been kind of cool. But overall, fairly good card. I don't know if I necessarily see myself saying that something's a bad card, but there are cards that I'm like underwhelmed with. So 2/2 drop. That's gonna be pretty common drop, I would say. 2/2 with an ability or a 2/3 without. I think there's a couple that probably have abilities. 1 strike, Fox Parks, Light of Courage, auto, Brave 300 on attack. This card gets plus 300 until the end of the turn. So, it's more of a 2/500, which is a very, very solid 2 drop, especially when attacking, getting in and getting rid of any of the other smaller units in front of you, or that's its main point. It doesn't. The only issue it has is it doesn't have that on blocking. It only has that 200 on attack. So as a blocker, not so great. As a just 2 drop aggressive attacker, Fox Parks, Light of Courage is your man. So I could see that being slotted 2 in a deck. Maybe 3. Love the card break. Very cool. I love the little flame that breaks out right there. That is sick. Love that artwork. Kitsune Wormbane Fangs. That's a tongue twister. 5 drop 400. Not super excited about that. Strike 2. That's pretty solid. So shooting face against your opponent. It's going to be a good card for that. Auto on deploy, choose up to 1 7 cost or greater PAL and deal 1200 damage to it. So not only solid for immediate attack, 2 damage to your opponent, but they dropped a 7 or 8 drop already, 1200 damage to it, dropping even Jormuntide, Ignis, down to 500. I think he was at 1700, maybe he was at 1800, 500. I mean, that's kind of incredible. 1 swing with Fox Parks. Trades with him. The Light of Courage, Fox Parks. See, I'm starting to get through it. I'm starting to think about it, and I think could be a solid 5 drop. I would not be surprised if that finds its way into a few decks. And then of course the card break up top. You gotta love it. Fantastic. I do love the artwork in this game. This game surprised me a lot. Oops, I accidentally moved that instead of the actual cards themselves. Okay, so we've got Spark It, and I have not been calling out if they're in trial decks. So there are some, and you know what? I know some people get upset about it, some people don't. They think it's part of the game. But there's some cards that are exclusive trial deck cards, so you have to buy the trial decks. I personally have always bought trial decks and theme decks and structure decks. Things like that, just because it gives you a good base and to be able to play a game. And then you have like a dedicated deck that you can use for friends when you've built your own deck to be able to get them into it and give them a simple series of cards to be able to play the game. And like you can still play another trial deck or structure deck or made up deck, you know what I mean? So you don't, slaughter your friends while you're playing them, but it's something you can do. But I've always been a fan of them, so I have no issue. I've pre-ordered trial decks and pre-ordered a few boxes to be able to open on the channel. So I don't see an issue with it. I do see an issue with the, you know what, we'll get into that later. So we got Spark It, Hazardous Contact, 3-drop, 400. I like that number a lot better. 1 strike, got an auto on deploy, choose up to 1 pal in the stand state, and deal 500 damage. So no rested pals, no pals that attack last turn, things like that. I think a pretty solid free drop. I'm a big fan of splash damage being done on deploy. So pretty dang good. Now we got Univolt, Valiant, Thunderclap, 4-drop for 600, 2 strike. Not bad. Not an excellent distribution. Auto Brave 300. So we know that on attack plus 300 until end of turn. So when attacking 900, 4 for 900. I think that's standard, a standardized card. And then it'll be a 2 strike instead of a 1 strike that I think those other 4 drops are. So on attack, still a 900 and a 2 strike. When defending, when blocking, 600. Not super excellent. Pretty awesome early game, though. Pretty good drop early game. Okay, we're getting back into a lucky. We've got Ragnarök, Emberwing Striker, 6-drop 1000. Not bad. 2 strike, lucky pal. Auto on attack, choose all of your red pals, and they get plus 500 and plus 1 strike at the end of turn. So you do have to swing in with this to get these abilities. I wonder. I think it says since choose all of your red pals, it is a red pal and get plus 500. I gotta think that on attack he's a 1500. For a 6-drop is pretty dang awesome, and a 3 strike. I think this is a pretty sweet lucky pal right here. To drop down on turn 3 at the earliest, kind of filthy, especially when you're able to swing into some other huge unit. Let it go first, and then have all of your red pals be 500 plus or 1 strike plus. Get a bunch of those 1s into 2s, go super wide, go for a game win right there. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite cards. It's one of my favorite cards this far. I can't wait for you guys to be like, yo, that's a trash card or something like that. Like, I'm like, this is just off the dome, what I'm thinking of, my background, that kind of thing. Okay, so Ruby Brave Sparks, non-lucky pal, 2-drop 200. Little, it's weaker than I like, but either way. 1 strike, auto series 400, choose 1 pal. On a sign, choose 1 pal, and it gets 400 till end of turn. Okay, interesting. So less of an attacker for you. Can still be a blocker, can still be a body, but it's a great on a sign for kindling, farming, and it boosts by 400 another pal. I mean, a turn 2, after you've played 1 pal, you play this. Hopefully turn 1, you got a structure down. Boom, a sign. You could have a little combo there. I like it. No different arts for those though. Okay, we've got Flame Bell, Scorching Tears, 3-drop 400. That's okay. 1 strike, auto on deploy, get 2 wood. It's another one of your pals that's getting you resources just on deploy. It doesn't have any additional effect to be able to utilize it, but you're going to have other red cards that do. I'm sure that the structures, maybe even gear, will burn those, but we'll see. I think it's a decent 3-drop. I don't think it's bad. It might be bad. I think there are a lot better 3-drops if your deck does not want to deal with, resources, wood at all, construction resources. Then I probably would go with a different 3-drop. Okay. Pyron, Cindersteed. Also, if I'm messing up these names, I apologize. I have a bunch of friends that love Palworld, play Palworld a ton. I have not played it yet. I will play it. I have not played it yet. So all these pals completely new to me. Just a heads up. So this is 6 drop, 1200. Love those numbers. 2 strike. Love that even more. Vanilla card. I think that every color is going to have a vanilla card like this. It's going to have a 6 drop vanilla card. It's going to have probably a 2 drop vanilla card. And then maybe not a 2 drop vanilla card, but a 4 drop vanilla card for sure. I think it's 4 and I think it's 6. Okay. 7 drop quick card. Blaze Howl, Hellflame Defender. 1200 power, 3 strike. I'm kind of liking those numbers. Those are decent. Those are pretty good numbers. Then obviously interrupt, from hand, quick ability, pay 1, discard this card, or discard this card and discard another card from your hand. Nullify the opponent's attack. Battle damage does not occur. I do believe though that nullify the opponent's attack. I'm not sure if it nullifies the abilities that are like on attack abilities. I think it just the battle damage does not occur. I will figure that out with the rules later. But I'm pretty sure I've watched like a couple videos of individuals playing, and I think that's what it was. I think this is a pretty good quick, and like he's a big body just in case late game. I think this is a good quick card to have in your deck though. All right, now we're getting to structures. Okay, so mounted machine gun, 4 drop structure, durability 1000. Once per turn, consume X amount of wood, assign 1 PAL, choose 1 PAL, and deal 500 damage times the X amount of consumed wood. So, we've seen those decks where it's like, we've seen those PALs where it's like, hey, on deploy, get 3 wood. On deploy, get 2 wood. All of a sudden, it's like, I've got 5 wood. I'm going to assign a PAL to this. I'm going to do 2,000. Directly to your Jormuntide, to your biggest, baddest and he's gone now. He's in the graveyard. I think this is pretty solid. If you are running a deck that is getting resources, you've got to be playing 2 or 3 mounted machine guns. I mean, they're going to be an incredible structure for you. Oh, and the mounted machine gun. Oh my gosh, special parallel. I will lose it if I pull a card like this. So the gold bordering, it's got those guys back there with multiple mounted machine guns. You gotta love it. I mean, same durability, same ability, things like that, but I just love the artwork on that. Okay. So we've got Primitive Furnace, 2 drop, 800 durability, which is pretty solid. It's hard to get rid of right away. Once per turn, assign a PAL, get 3 wood, and you draw a card. That's pretty incredible. Turn 2, doing that is pretty amazing. And then it has another one, act once per turn, consume any number of wood, reduce the cost of playing your next gear from hand by X until end of turn. It has not become, I think it says 0 or less from this ability. So you can't play anything for free. It's going to go a minimum of 1. Yep. It's going to be a minimum of 1, which is still solid, and you can absolutely get through multiple times of assigning to be able to get an insane amount of wood to be able to either use this ability or use other abilities that we've seen that utilize that resource. I think it's still really awesome. I think a lot of these structures are going to deal with either getting that resource or utilizing it. So Cauldron, Flame Cauldron, 2 drop, 900 durability. On continuous, all of your red pals get plus 200. So just this Flame Cauldron, 2 drop, tough to get rid of, plus 200 to all your red pals. I mean, this has got to be a staple of 4. I mean, it's just it stacks. It's gonna stack. And then auto, when your red pal is deployed, get 1. I mean, it's an insanely good turn 1 for any red deck, especially if you're, even if you don't want wood resources, the plus 200 immediately. That's not just, on attack. That is on blocking as well. Like this is going to be a 4 of in those decks. I mean, it could be a 3 of if you're trying to tech in a couple of different cards. But you got to get that on turn 1. Turn 1, that just goes incredible. Turn 1, 2 other 2 drop pals, 200 more. I mean, you're going to clear board, and then you're also may hit face. Okay. Alarm Bell, 3 drop, 1100 durability, pretty pretty high durability. I think that's the highest durability we've seen so far. Act once per turn. I can't read that very well. Let me see. Pay one, assign one pal, stand all pals assigned this turn. Until end of turn, your pals cannot be assigned and must attack as much as possible, including pals deployed after activating this ability. That's interesting. Basically, do you push in with multiple pals, play this card, pay one, assign one pal, and then stand them all? They all have to attack again, which I'm not sure I like. I get it that it had to have a downside, because if you just could 3-drop, pay one, assign one pal, and then get all your pals to be able to attack again, or stand them for blocks, is just insane. So, and especially with 1100 durability, I mean, like, getting rid of this thing would not be like super quick by any means. So I think it's decent. I don't know how I feel about forcing it to attack, and they can't be assigned, and they can't be left to block. So I'm not super ecstatic for that one. Maybe there's a use for it that I do not understand yet, but not my favorite thus far. Not my favorite. Okay, Foxparks Harness, 3-drop. Gear is our first gear. There are a couple gear that actually are specific to a couple of the pals that we'll find. Usually they're kind of, some kind of harness or saddle, things like that. So this one, act, rest this card, choose one pal, and it gets plus 200 until end of turn. If its main name is Foxparks, it gets the skill in blank until end of turn. Auto on attack. Choose up to one pal and deal 700 damage. So if you tap this and choose Foxparks, it gets plus 200 attack and 700 damage splash damage automatically when it attacks. Incredible. Good 3-drop, especially running Foxparks. I think Foxparks is a good card. So I think red decks will be running them, especially like early game Foxparks into Foxparks Harness is going to be pretty fantastic. Just for that damage. This is the super rare version. Again, this one does not card break, so I'm pretty underwhelmed by, having a different version. The pump action shotgun. This is the card that I keep getting information on, that is just pretty incredible, and fairly unstoppable, it feels like. So it's a 7-drop, huge drop, late game drop, but auto on deploy, choose all of your opponent's pals and deal 1200 damage to them. That's gonna board wipe. I mean, unless they have a 7 cost, maybe a vanilla 6, even a vanilla 6 cost though worth 1200. You're clearing everything except for 7 and 8 cost cards, I feel like. And then act, rest this card, choose one pal, and it gets plus 200 until end of turn. I think that's going to be a pretty common thing on any of the gear that are gun related. They're going to have that kind of act, rest card, so you can get a plus 200. One cool thing, you can have as many gear and structure cards on your in your base as you want, but only up to 5 pals. So you can have a ton of these and just start. As far as I know, there's no card removal though. So that's the only bad thing. Not card removal. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. No gear removal that I know of. Structures have that durability, so you can just attack them and get rid of them. I don't know about this one. I don't know about gear. We've got the super rare. It does card break a little bit. I wish the edge, or maybe if it was firing, I would like it a little bit more. I do like that it card breaks. It meets that criteria for me. Makeshift handgun. Look at that thing. 2-drop, gear, auto on deploy, choose up to one pal and deal 500 damage. Love my splash damage. Act, rest this card, choose one pal, and it gets plus 200 until end of turn. I still think it's a great drop. I think it's a great turn 2. It could be a turn 1. I don't know if that's the best. It doesn't really make sense unless you were going second, and I think there are just better drops turn 1. But turn 2 plus another drop, clear a small pal, and then go to face. I think that's a good plan, honestly. All right, Stone Pickaxe, 3-drop gear. Act, restless card, choose one pal. It gets plus 200 until end of turn, and you get 1 wood. So it's a gear that can also get you wood when it is rested. That's pretty awesome. I just don't know. I mean, unless you're really looking for the resources, I don't think a 3-drop over the makeshift handgun is better. Like I said, unless there are a lot of cards that are utilizing that resource or resources in general, which we saw a couple in red to be able to burn and do some damage. This could be a good way of getting that consistently, 1 per turn, and then being able to maybe assign and then do 500 damage, additional 500 damage every turn. It could be a strat. It could be a little bit of a synergy there, I see. All right, so we get to our first event card as well. Axel's strategy. Choose one of the following. Choose 1 pal and deal 1,500 damage. That's fantastic. It's a 4-drop. Choose up to X pals and stand them. X is equal to your number of gears. I assume number of gears in your base, which wouldn't be bad. I mean, I think that, later, maybe a later game, that would be able to give you a couple double attacks. Choose all of your opponents' 5 or greater pals, and they cannot block until end of turn. Stopping a blocker wall is pretty solid. I think that you've got to play a couple of these at least in red, unless you're able to access through your secondary card a better event card. I think there's one more red event card. Yes, treasure chest. Also, the artwork, over super rare. Boom. Fantastic looking card. Love it. Love the full art. Love the coloring. Love the background. Psh. Do you add in the lightning? Come on, man. That is so cool. Love this. Love this. And the gold lettering is very, very cool. I can't say it's on my top chases. I don't think any of the event cards will be. It'll be nice to have, and I always want to try to bling out my deck with the highest rarity. The special parallel, it would be nice to have. It's not a necessity for me, by any means. So, but it's up there. It's up there, I swear. Treasure chest found. 2-drop. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 red structure or red gear from among them and add it to your hand, and shuffle the rest of the cards with the deck. If you chose 0 cards, get 3 wood. So another way to funnel wood, another way just to get a red structure or red gear early on. I think it's a pretty good event card. I wish it wasn't just, I wish it was just a red card instead of red structure and red gear. I think you get a red pal. And maybe they could limit it to something like cost 5 or less, 4 or less maybe. I don't know. I think it'd be a little bit better if you're just trying to funnel wood. I mean, maybe the unassign. What card am I thinking of? I don't know other names yet. This unassign might be easier. I mean, it takes a little bit more setup, but it just might be more efficient and a little bit easier. But I could still see in resource-heavy deck being playable. Maybe 1 or 2 copies, not anything crazy, unless you are super resource-heavy and trying to get, use that on a sign as just a clear board all the time, which could be a strat. Could be kind of fun, actually. I do like making decks that are kind of just meme decks where it's like, I'm trying to do something really dumb, really stupid, but it's fun to play against people, especially when I'm trying to teach them the game. And like, they're like, that seems kind of ridiculous, all the stuff you're doing for that. And I'm like, it is. No normal player would play this. That's just my preference. Okay. We're getting into blue now. Chill it. Dragon Whisperer. This is a very powerful card. In my opinion. I have heard a lot about, I'm trying not to get spoiled on it, but I've heard a lot about Dragon Archetype deck. So with Chill It, he's 5-drop, 900, pretty good, fairly good. He's a Lucky Pal, so he's going to limit how many you can have in your deck. I mean, Lucky Pals in general. 2-strike, I love that. Auto, on deploy, reveal the top cover of your deck, and if it is a 8 cost or less dragon, you may deploy it. If you did not deploy it, add it to your hand. So, you're telling me I can drop an 8-cost dragon from the top of my deck on deploy of this guy, go get a 2-for-1 off of 5 souls, and go face. That's incredible. That's incredible. And worst case scenario, I put it in my hand. I put the card that I drew in my hand. Love this card. Absolutely incredible. And I will say, the artwork insane. Love the over super rare. But the super special parallel goes so hard. The gold bordering around this card, absolutely incredible. The gold lettering, absolutely incredible. Him just looking up, so happy, probably seeing a dragon of some kind, is amazing. This is going to be one of the top chase cards. In my opinion, I think this is number one, probably. I think that there are very few that will rival this one. In pure artwork, I think there are a few that'll rival it. I think some of them are funny, and so that gets kind of into the bits, and it's like, yeah, it'll rival it because of that. But I think Chillet decks, we're going to see way too many of. We're going to see a ton of them. They're going to be played everywhere. It's going to be people's lucky pals. Relaxaurus Hungry Gunner. Oh, yeah, this guy is goofy. I love him. It's fantastic. So, 7-drop, 1,200. Not bad. 3-strike. Awesome. Auto onto play. Choose up to 1 6-cost or less pal and rest it while this card is in the base. That card does not stand. So, boom. Take out a 6 or less pal. It's rested. Cannot stand on your opponent's turn. You just take one guy out and you got a powerful dude. Whether you want him to be a blocker, whether you want him to go face, whether you want him to clear board, he can do all of it. This is a very solid guy. This is a solid unit. And especially, he's a dragon. Top decking with Chillet, boom. He's down. And then on deploy, because it does say deploy it from the top of your deck after you reveal it, you still get that benefit. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. He's got an OSR, which is just goofy, and I love it. And I really, really like. I mean, I'd be super happy pulling this, but I'd be much happier pulling this special parallel. He's got all the rockets. He's shooting them off, and I think that's absolutely incredible. This artwork, somebody went too hard with this artwork. They were like, hey, make Relaxaurus Hungry Gunner, make him look cool. What do you want me to do for the special parallel? Give him his, like, guns or whatever, you know, and make it kind of funny. And he's like, bet. And they went off on this. I big fan. He will be one of my chase cards. I think because he's so funny, I think he's a top 5 chase card for sure. Okay, so now we have Jormuntide, Surging Sea Serpent, 8-drop, Lucky Pal, 1,600, 3-strike. So I think he's a little bit weaker than Jormuntide Ignis. And also, he has a little bit of a different ability. On deploy, auto, draw 1 card, choose up to 1 7 or less cost pal, and rest it. This card does not stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Seeing a pattern with blue. Blue likes to rest your guys and not let them back up. But you also get to draw a card on that, too. That is incredible. And this one goes 7 or less. So instead of being able to stand itself with its ability, like Jormuntide Ignis, it's resting your opponents, and it's like, you don't get to play the game anymore. I think this is a very solid card. I think it's a really good Lucky Pal. It's also a dragon, 8 cost. I don't see why you wouldn't play it with Chillet. I mean, you're kind of just building the deck at this point. Okay. And then, I almost skipped over the artwork. Over super rare, incredible. I mean, it's the same artwork, but, you know, super zoomed in, gets a full art. And then the special parallel is impressive to say the least. Gold bordering. Doesn't have its own border. It's not a super special parallel, but it is still fantastic. Still would be super happy to pull this. If I pull any of the Chillet, Relaxaurus, or Jormuntide, I mean, I'm running dragons. Like, it's just got to happen. I'm gonna have 1 dragon deck at least. You know, it's like it'd be a shame. It'd be disrespectful not to. All right, we're getting into Panglet, yearning for the sky. You gotta love this guy. I mean, he's just a little dude, and so he's a 4-drop, 600, 2-strike. Power is lacking a little bit in my mind. Strike is pretty solid. Auto, when this card is put into the graveyard, draw 1 card. So you going into face, blocking with this guy, drawing mechanic. I mean, he's just a draw engine. I have heard some pretty good things about Panglet and an archetype that's pretty hilarious. So super rare, This guy breaks the border a ton. Mad respect. The guy in the back breaks the border a little bit on the sides. I think they could have done that a little bit better, zoomed him in a little bit more, but the side panglet, he's getting me. He's getting me. I think that's hilarious. Okay, so Azure Roby, I think that's Azure Roby or Azure Robe. Water Dragon Waltz, 6-drop, 1200. I think that's pretty solid. 2-strike with Lucky Pal. Auto on deploy, draw 1 card, choose up to 1 pal, and rest it. Again, blue with that resting. This one, it can still stand, but what you could do is you could rest a potential blocker. So getting rid of blocker, always awesome. Swing it in with a 2-strike. I think that's the best number to swing in with. 2 or 3. It's kind of hard to tell. It just, you don't want your opponent to have more odds to be able to pull a Lucky Pal and negate all your damage. That just feels bad. It feels bad. So I could see this. It's tough. It's a Lucky Pal. You'll have things like Chill It. It is a dragon, which is pretty awesome. It's just not as good as some of the other Lucky Pals, I'd say. The super rare also is pretty nice, but like then you have Jormuntide. You have Chill It itself, which you're probably going to play 4 of, and I have a hard time. Do you go 3-1 there? That kind of thing, but either way, I think it's a pretty solid card. I think it's just unfortunate that it's a Lucky Pal, but it's powerful. You got to make it a Lucky Pal at that point. Okay, so we've got Reptyro, Christ, Glacial Devourer, 8-drop, 1200, 3-strike. I think he's a little underpowered for an 8-drop, in my opinion, but we got to get to his abilities. So auto on deploy, draw a card. You got to love a draw mechanic. That's just... Drawing cards is fantastic. It's never not going to be fantastic. Unless, you're playing a milling deck, in which case, well, you can hate your opponent for that one. Act once per turn. Discard 1 card from your hand. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 2 6 or less structures from among them and deploy them and shuffle the rest of the cards in the deck. My bad. That's a pretty strong ability. Getting those structures out is pretty incredible. Off the top of your deck and immediately deploying them. 8 costs, say you get off that, you get a 2 cost structure and you get a 4. You've played this guy for effectively 2 at that point. And you drew a card and probably discarded either that card or a useless card in your hand. He's kind of evening out, but he gets a lot of payoff with that second ability. Unfortunately, obviously, you don't want it to be too overpowered. If you can do that more than once per turn, it'd be insane. But it's pretty solid. I like the abilities. I'm not sure he's a multi-copy card in your deck, but could be. Here's the super rare. He breaks up here with his flames, and to the left with his back foot. I think could have done a little bit more personally. But still, somewhat solid. Pen King, Mighty Warrior of the Deep. So this is the guy I've heard about. 5-drop, 600, 2-strike. 600, not great amount of power. 2-strike. Yeah, we'll say that's about average for 5. Continuous. All of your main name Panglet pals get plus 700. You're telling me you drop this guy, you go back and you get Panglet. He's a 1300 4-drop? Come on, man. Come on. That's absolutely insane. And all these boys are breaking out of the super rare artwork. Incredible. I love it. Okay, over to Fwak, Manic Wave Ripper. 2-drop, 200, 1-strike, has an ability. I think this is pretty standard. When this card is attacked, this card gets plus 300 until end of turn. So you got your 200 attacker, but he does the opposite of that of Fox Park's ability. I had to think about that for a second. And he's a good blocker. He's a really good early blocker. A lot of 2-3 drops aren't going to get through him just because of that. I think he's a solid early game blue pal. I could definitely see him being played. Oh, Lucky Pal. 7-drop, Wumpo, Frost Peak Sentinel. Okay, so 1500 attack. That's sick. 3-strike. I'm more of a fan of that than 4-strike, to be quite honest. I mean, obviously, it's like more damage, better. Not my opinion. Not always, man. So continuous. If this card is in the rest state, all of your opponent's pals get -1 strike. You gotta love it. You're attacking with him every turn. You're using him, or you're attacking with him every turn. You could use him to assign. I think that's kind of a misplay. And he's rested. -1 strike. You got pals over there, 1 strike. They're not doing any damage to you. They better either start swinging face or something. Or not swinging face, swinging to your pals or something, or do something else that's useful because they out. So pretty solid. Again, he's lucky pal. In a blue section, in a set where blue is just kind of stacked with some really good lucky pals. I think it's going to be tough. Maybe a one of, late drop, that kind of thing. Like, I got to get 2 damage on them, but I got to make sure I don't take my 4 damage, that kind of thing. Like, let me drop them down by 1, just give me a chance. But we'll have to see. Tiefent, Fountain of Cheer, 2 drop, 200 power, 1 strike, pretty normal. Auto Serious 400, choose 1 pal and it gets, on a sign, choose 1 pal and it gets plus 400. This is another one of your guys, you're assigning to your structures, plopping that 400 somewhere, and then, boosting up either, big attacker or boosting up a weak guy to be able to, go, trade with another pal that's much stronger, that kind of thing. I like it. I don't know how much he'll get played. It just depends on the structures for blue. We haven't gotten to those yet. Blue has some good structures and some good synergies. I could see it. Why wouldn't you play Tiefent? It's an easy 2 drop. Malchrist, Harbinger of Riches. 3 drop, normal pal, 400 power. Okay, strike 1. Auto, when this card is assigned to a farming structure, draw 1 card. So an assigned pal. I can understand that. Start drawing cards, get your own draw engine going. I think that's effective if you've got other pals to be able to either block or attack with already. Maybe in I couldn't see it being an early game card. I could see it being a later game card when you've already got a fairly established board and can get down an easy structure and then kind of get that draw engine going. Celeray, Loop de Loop, 3 drop, 400, 1 strike. I mean, pretty similar to the last one. On attack, draw 1 card, choose 1 card from your hand, discard it. I'm actually a big fan of filtering your hand. There's a lot of cards, dead cards in your hand, and you just keep boom, 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 going through them. I kind of like this 3 drop. I think I would prefer this 3 drop over the last one we just saw if there aren't good structures / can't get structures out consistently. That's a feels bad moment, Okay. Serpent, Swift Swimmer. 4 for 700, 2 strike, vanilla. This is what I meant by the 4. So I'm going to have to readjust what I was thinking. For some reason, I thought the 4s were 900 power, and I thought everything was really underpowered. No. 4 vanilla is 4/7. Which makes sense. I was definitely thinking incorrectly. So, apologies to all the cards I just nagged on. You're a lot better than I thought. Hopefully they take my apology. Don't mess with my pack openings, please. Okay. I think that's pretty decent. It's a vanilla card, so I like them less. I just like the abilities. So, Cryolinks, Arctic Ordeal, 6 quick ability. The Act Interrupt ability, obviously, we kind of went through that. 6 900, 2 attack, 2 strike, sorry. And I think the 6 900, I think that's going to be standard as well. So, really solid card. It's at your interrupt. You're going to need to play it. You're going to need some amount of interrupt. And I don't know if I saw any other interrupt in blue. Oh, man, does blue only have 2? Oh, it has 1 interrupt. I think red had multiple. Okay, getting into the structures. 5 drop, 1400 durability. Wow, that thing's going to be tough to take off the base. Take out of your base. Auto, on deploy, choose up to X of your opponent's pals and return them to hand. X is equals the number of different card names among your structures with antique in their card name. For example, if the current state has 4 antique mirror and Antique Curtain, it deployed, returns up to 2 cards. Okay, we're going to see a lot of cards with Antique. I'm wondering if they're all going to be in blue or if they're going to be spread out where you kind of have to pick and choose. I think that'd be a pretty cool card. Oh, it's got a SR. The structure SRs kind of don't look different to me, and sometimes they're just a little zoomed in, and it kind of makes me mad. Like, you could have done it something else. You could have made it so it's, breaking out somewhere. Now, the special parallels of the structures are incredible. 4-drop, Antique Dresser. This is what I just talked about. 1400 durability. Tough to get out of there. Act once per turn. Discard 1 card from hand. Declare 1 card name. Choose all of your cards, and they get that declared card name in addition until end of turn. Oh, you can Antique Dresser. You can make it antique. Oh, I see the antique. Okay. I see what it is. Okay, I see the strat now. Then the other ability, act once per turn, discard X cards from hand, choose X of your pals, and they get plus 1,000 plus 1 until end of turn. Discard X cards from hand. I thought it said choose X cards from hand. Sorry, guys. I was just having a brain fart. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, that makes more sense. That's a strong card. I actually really like Antique Dresser. Antique Dresser is going to be a menace, I feel like. So Hot Spring, 1,000 durability, 6-drop. So a lot less durability than both the antique structures we just saw. Act once per turn, assign 1 pal, choose up to 2. I think that's 6 or less pals. And rest them. These cards do not stand during your opponent's next stand phase. And then you got to deal 1,000 damage to it and to get rid of it. It's got 2 of your 6 or less pals rested constantly. Oh, blue is a menace. And you know what? You know what blue's doing? Control. And that's what blue does. Blue controls. That's just what it's about. That's what it's always been about. So I get it. Antique Mirror. Wait. Is that the same name? No, that was Antique Dresser. Antique Mirror. So we got three antiques in blue. 3 antiques in blue. I like it already. 1-drop, 1,000. Auto, on deploy, draw 1 card. So this card exists purely, now it makes up for itself. 1 soul, draw a new card. It pays for itself, it recycles itself. But this is purely for the antique mirror, like antique deck archetype. And I'm kind of about it. I like that a lot. Workbench, 2-drop, 900 durability. I feel like that's pretty safe. Act once per turn, assign 1 pal, draw 2 cards, choose 1 card from your hand, and discard it. So a little bit better filtering to your hand. I like it. It's a good 2-drop as well. So good turn 1 into turn 2, being able to filter through. I like that. Panglet rocket launcher. I heard about this too. 4-drop gear, act, rest this card, choose 1 pal, and it gets plus 200 until end of turn. If its main name is Panglet, instead it gets 500 in the skill in blank until end of turn. Act, rest this card, choose all of your opponent's pals, and they get X damage. X is equal to this card's attack. Put this card into the graveyard. Oh my gosh. And then you can have Peng King and then a bunch of Panglets, and their damage, you just start shooting your opponent with an immense amount of damage. Oh my gosh. This is going to be a menace. And Panglet, obviously, I don't think this is a very good card for a 4-drop plus 200 by itself. There are other cards that just do that better. But for Panglet, you got to have 4. You've just got to have 4. It's even got a super rare that goes over the edge. I love it. Grappling Gun, 5-drop. Act, rest this card. Choose 1 pal, it gets plus 200 and the skill in parentheses until end of turn. Auto, it gets Vigilance. At the end of your turn, stand this card. Oh, man. So it gets plus 200 till the end of your turn to be able to do a little bit extra damage, but then it gets Vigilance. And it stands at the end of your turn. So you got another blocker. It does lose a 200, but it's still a blocker. It's still ready. I love this card. Okay, that's a great one. The 5, a little expensive, but you know what? Great ability. Okay, so we got to another event card. 3, Victor's Strategy. For 3, choose one of the following. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose one card among them, and add it to your hand. Shuffle the rest. That's an insane ability. For 3? For 3 souls, you can tap 3 souls and draw a card. Why would I do that when I can play this and choose one of the top 5? The second ability, choose one PAL and return it to your hand. Well, return it to hand, not your hand. Sorry, I misspoke. So that could be both you and your opponents. You can just kind of bap something really strong that's an 8 cost back to your opponent's hand. They're off the board, so they're not blocking. And they have to pay 8 again to get it back on the board. Now, that does help them get any on-deploy effects back. So you got to be careful with that. Or for the third one, draw X cards. X is equal to the number of your structures. So you're playing Antique. Insane. Could be drawing immense amount of cards. You also could just pick one of the cards that you're drawing off of the top 5. But if you have 5 structures out and they're all different antiques, you might as well just use that and draw the 5 cards. Like, why pick when you can have all of them? This one does have an over super rare. I love this. This is fantastic. Victor looks crazy insane in this, but this special parallel is absolutely devastating. I mean, this would be a top chase card for me. I would say probably for most people, it's a top 10 artwork card for them. I think with just how playable Victor's strategy is, I'm going to dual, even if I want to go like lone purple, I'm going to have blue be my second color so I can play Victor's strategy. Like, it's just too good of a card. It filters too well. It does everything too well. So sorry, everybody else. I'm going to probably be playing blue most of the time, which blue is my favorite color. Kind of wearing it today, too. So you got Pal Sphere for 4, draw 3 cards. I like this card. I think when you can draw that many cards for any amount, maybe, not an exorbitant amount of souls, but this is insane, especially for 3 souls. If you don't have any other draw cards, you can tap 3 souls to draw 1. Why would I do that? 4 for 3? Count me in. Or if I got 5 more than 3 structures down, I'm paying 3 for Victor's strategy and getting all those cards. I think this is a pretty solid card. Maybe not a 4 of. And then also they have the super rare, which goes over the edge. I do really like this super rare. I don't know why. It's bright. It feels brighter and just more fantastic for some reason in my mind. So I think it's playable. I think we'll see play for that card. So 2 quick. Another quick card. That's good. It is a event Aurora Guide quick. Draw 1 card, choose up to 1 card from your hand, and put it on the top of the deck. So a little bit of a filter without discarding, which is kind of nice. Especially if there's a dragon you need to put at the top of your deck. If you need you play this, draw 1 card, put a dragon, a Jormuntide at the top of your deck, and then maybe play a Chillet. See? That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's just, it's so good. It's such a good, and I think that generally is a pretty good quick ability. But I think the synergies in this game are going to be fantastic. I would say you got to play a couple of those just because you're going to want to hand filter a little bit. Although it doesn't quite hand filter because it doesn't give you opportunity for new cards. But I think paired with Chillet and that kind of archetype, it's going to be a great card. All right, we're getting to green. We're cooking through. I hope you feel like we're cooking through. I hope you feel like you're enjoying it. And if you are, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, hit that little bell, and so you don't miss out on any more content from me. It's going to be a lot of openings and a lot of gameplay coming up for Palworld. Okay, so we're getting to our green. Lylene, Blessing of the Goddess. 7-drop, Lucky Pal. 900. 900 is not a great amount of power for a 7-drop. A vanilla 6-drop is 900. This has 2 abilities. So I guess it kind of balances out. 3 strike. Love the 3 strike, though. So auto on deploy, get 3 food. Hopefully this next one uses 3 food. And it does. Act once per turn, consume 3 food, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 6 or less PAL from among them, and deploy it and shuffle. That's a great ability. I mean, especially because you can do that right away. Lylene, if there's gonna be food structures and other food Other food pals. This could be a devastating green deck. I almost said something different. A devastating green deck. I like it. It is a lucky pal, so you gotta be careful. And then, we're getting into the OSR. You gotta love it. You gotta love a full art card, but this super special parallel. This has got to be pretty up there for me, just because. The gold border gets me. Lylene, powerful card. Definitely going to be a chase card for me. It's gonna be pretty far up there. It's not chill it for me, but I'm gonna say it's probably top 4. And I love the abilities on the card. I don't know how much I like currently the resources, but you know what? I'll probably get used to them. And that's the hope. That is the hope. Okay, so next card, Dig Toys, Seismic Drillback, 6-drop, 900, pretty standard from what I'm seeing now. I think there were a couple red 6-drops that were better. I can't remember now, but 2 strike, not bad. Continuous, if you have 10 or more souls, this card gets plus 1,000 plus 1 strike. Late game, turn 5 and later, it is a 6-drop, 1,900 3 strike. That's insane. That's a great card. So obviously good, and it's a lucky pal. I forgot to say that. It's a lucky pal. Of course you're a lucky pal. Because, it's too powerful. That was way too powerful. I was almost about to lose my cool. I was like, why wouldn't green just run this every time? Then act once per turn, consume 2 food. Another one that consumes food until the end of turn. This card gets plus 500 and the skill in the parentheses. Auto breakthrough. When the opposing combat pal is put into the graveyard during the card's attack, the opposing player is also dealt damage. The opposing player still takes strike damage. I love the keyword breakthrough. That's insane. Again, I think I do like this pal a lot. I like the consuming ability. And the artwork is absolutely incredible. One thing you guys are fine about me, that is awesome. The special parallel is so sick. If I pull any special parallels or I pull any alt art cards, I will make decks with them. I have to. I am not much of an individual that will resell my cards unless I have a lot of copies of it or trade it away unless I'm getting something incredible for it. I love collecting them and I love blinging out my deck. That's just what you're going to find out about me. It's just how I play. So I definitely like this card a lot. I love this card a lot. Okay. Let's get into it. Patalia, Sweet Blessings, 6-drop, 700, 2 strike. That's okay. A little low on the damage. Auto on deploy, gain 1 life. Choose 2 souls and stand them. The absolute resource control. This is the first card we've seen that has gain 1 life. That's awesome. That's incredible. I hope there's more green because I know that some individuals go for, I want to be aggro. I want to get after it. I'm gonna damage you as much as possible, as quick as possible. I am the opposite. I'm not quite the opposite. I'm not blue control. I don't want you to do anything. I want to control and restand my resources. I want to use my resources over and over and over, and I think green's going to be that for me if this is a consistent thing. I have no idea why. My printer just started up. Sorry if you heard that. The gain 1 life too. That's kind of insane. 6 drops, so it's a little bit don't do this to me. Oh my gosh, this card that I already like has an over super rare, a full art form, and then it's got a special parallel. That's a beautiful card. That's a fantastic, fantastic card. That would be, I think I have 2 things. I have cards that I love the artwork for, cards that I love the playability for, and then cards that do both. The cards that do both are the top. That's like chill it. I think Lylene's going to be pretty far up there. I think Patalia has already jumped up there, and this is a card that I've not seen before. So I'm a big fan. I think it's going to be very playable. In green, I think you got it. And it's not a lucky pal. I think you got it. I think you have to play it. I think you have to play it at least. Okay. So we got Rushore, Reckless Destruction, 2 drop, 200, 1 strike. Auto, when this card attacks a structure, this card gets plus 800 until end of turn. So this is your structure clearing guy. If you're getting locked up, you're seeing that they're playing antique structures, you're seeing anything like that. I think in purple, there's a structure that exiles a card. This is your boy. This is your 2 drop. Clear that. This is your, you're playing red. They played down that excellent 2 drop that I cannot remember the name of. And you just go right through it. Just easy right through it. I love that. Super rare, do not like. There's no frame break. Where's the frame break? Do the frame break. You have so much opportunity here. Elizabeth, Queen of the Flower Garden, 5 drop, 700 power, 2 strike, Lucky Pal. Oh, they better be worth it. Continuous. This card gets plus 300 for each of your main name B-Guard pals. Interesting. Okay, so we're seeing this is kind of Green's Pen King, where it's like, I want all these guys out. Act. Consume 1 food. Look at the top card of your deck. And if that is a main name B-Guard pal, you may play it with its cost reduced by 2. It does not become 0 cost or less from this ability. I'm a little underwhelmed almost by that. I have not seen B-Guard yet. B-Guard's kind of cracked, then it completely changes the ability of this card. Consume 1 food. We've only seen 1 card that gets food, and that's Lylene, and she can immediately consume that. So we better have some structures or some other cards that allow that. I'm gonna hold off on saying how good I think Elizabeth is until I see B-Guard. War Sect, 8 cost, big drop. This is your 1500 power, 3 strike, pal. So, continuous, taunt. Your opponent cannot attack other targets if a card with taunt can be targeted for an attack. This is a classic card game thing. You got it basically your bodyguard, Get to all my homies, to get to my boss, you got to go through this guy. That kind of thing. I think he's a great 8 drop. I would be very surprised if he wasn't at least a 1 of in most decks, just because, you drop him down, taunt, they've got to get through him now. They don't get to make the attacks on you, that kind of thing. I like it. I like that. I think he's going to be pretty playable. And, oh man, he breaks out of the card so well. He breaks out. See, this is what a super rare should look like. It should break out. Like that. I didn't even look at this one. See, and I knew the staff was going to make me happy. The staff was going to make me happy just how they put that. Those are too good. Those are 2 good super rares. You know what? Count me in for those super rares. 8 drop, 1600, 3 strike, Lucky Pal. I want to say Violet, Bewitching Blossom. I almost said Valet. Reading that. So act once per turn. Discard 1 card from your hand. If you assigned this card this turn, stand this card. So you have to discard a card from hand. If you assigned this card this turn, so you can still assign it to something, get the ability for assigning it, then stand it, then attack with it. I like it. I think this is a solid card. This could be. I think you have to be careful because it's a Lucky Pal. It can take away from your 8, especially if you want to play Lylene's, if you want to play if you want to play Elizabeth. I mean, if you want to play Dig Twice. Yeah, there's a lot of it's kind of feeling like blue to me. Frankly, red didn't feel like that to me, which is very, very odd. And then also, obviously, the super rare breaks out of the frame. Love that. I don't quite know how I feel about it comparatively to War Sect. I love the taunt. I love the redirection. But I do love the assign and attack. I would not be opposed to, if I can fit 1 as a lucky in my deck, I would be happy. But I also want War Sect in there. I think if I'm running green. Lift Monk, Promising Newbie, 3 cost pal for 500, 1 strike. Vanilla card. I think that's a solid vanilla card. I mean, 3 strike, 500 is pretty solid in my opinion. Not bad at all. Not a huge fan of the 3 strike Not 3-strike. I'm a huge fan of 3-strike. Not a huge fan of vanilla cards. Sorry. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Love the super rare, though. Like, some of the cards are killing it. Some of the cards aren't for me. I just, it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss on those super rares. It's like, make sure they break out of the frame. Show them a little, show them doing a little thing. Okay, we got Demud, Mellow Bounty, 4-drop, 500, 2-strike. Okay, here's an auto on deploy. Get two food. There we go. More food resources. When this card is assigned to a farming structure, increase your soul by 1 card in the rest state. When this card is assigned to a friendly farming structure, increase your soul by 1 card in the rest state. Is this ramp? This is ramp. It's just rested, but you gain an extra. I'm a big fan of ramp. I'm a big fan. Oh, you just became a much better. And you can keep ramping. Oh, he's a huge target. He's a huge target. I would 100%. He gets me resources to be able to play other cool things, and then he gets me ramp. Doing it once is worth it. Doing it twice is insane. Oh, interesting. I like that card a lot. I think he's going to be targeted immediately. I think he's going to be targeted super hard. No chance you get that off twice. People are hunting that man. Unless you got a taunt. But at that point, no, that doesn't make sense. Unless there's another card that is smaller that has taunt. Gamos, Curious Sprout, 4-drop, 600 power, 2-strike. Auto on deploy, this card gets plus 300, and the skill in parentheses till end of turn. Continuous Assault, this card can attack pals in the stand state. You gotta love it. Going through, getting their blockers immediately. They don't even get the choice. It's my choice now. I like the 4 for 6, 2-strike. And then this card gets plus 300 on deploy. Until the end of the turn. So he does 900 for that first turn. And can attack stood pals. You can tell I played too many trading card games. Big fan. I like him a lot. I think he'll see some decent play. Another Dictois. Keen Needleback. 5-drop, 800 power. Pretty good. 2-strike, act 1 per turn, consume 2 food. This card gets plus 500 and the skill in parentheses till the end of turn. Auto breakthrough. When you attack and you put a pal in the graveyard, you get to do attack to the opposing player. Love it. So you still get that strike damage. Pretty solid. That's a hard 5-drop to skip up, to skip over. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so 2-drop, Tansy, Cheerful Worker, 200 power, 1-strike, kind of a classic. Auto, Serious 400, choose 1 pal. On assign, choose 1 pal, and it gets 400. It's your classic assign. You want structure out, you got to assign him. Off structure, you're hopefully getting food, you're hopefully getting draw power, things like that. I think he'd be decent if you're going structure heavy deck. Here's B-Guard. Okay, now I got to see B-Guard. Now I got to see if B-Guard's worth the hype, So 3-drop, B-Guard, Knight of the Flower Garden, 400 power, 1-strike. Okay. Continuous, you may put any number of cards with the same card name as this card into your deck. Oh, you can go over the 4 count. Interesting. So I can have a ton of B-Guards. Okay, auto on deploy, get 1 food. There we go. Getting food, farming food. If you have a farming structure, this card gets plus 500 until end of turn on deploy. Okay, so you want farming structure down. Okay, I see now. I'm gonna give. This is a pretty solid card, especially because you can have as many copies in deck as you want. I'm gonna give Elizabeth. You get infinite. Well, no, it gets a maximum of 1,200 because you could have 4 other pals. So it's 1,900 at max power. And then it gets you the 1 food you need to consume to people to get more. I see the funnel now. Okay, I'm going to say kind of an insane 5-drop. If you can consume one food at that turn and get B-Guard, and you can do it again and again and again and again, and then you can sweep. Like, I get it. That's actually a really fun archetype. I might have to try that out. That sounds pretty awesome. I'm going to say pretty to very playable. That's going to be my call. I like B-Guard too. Let's see here. 7. I think this is the first. I think Wumpo Botan Tropical Sentinel is the first quick card. The quick interrupt, 7 cost, 1200, 3 strike. I think every color has this of some kind. Just like they have, the vanilla cards are all the same. So that's a quick. You got to have it in your deck. Interrupt is so powerful. So powerful. Okay. So 3-drop, Breeding Farm, 1100 durability, act, once per turn, consume 2 food, reveal the top card of your deck, add it to your hand. If it is a 8 cost or less pal, otherwise, put it into the graveyard. Okay, so it searches you out pals. Act, once per turn, consume 2 food, assign 2 pals, choose one, let's see here, choose one 8 or less pal from hand and deploy it. Oh, Breeding Farm, I didn't know you were with it like that. Okay, assigning 2 pals is a lot. Consuming 2 food, I don't think it's difficult to get 2 food based upon the cards that we've seen thus far. I can see this being kind of a ramp into 8 costs. I can see it being a good ramp, especially you start with an 8 cost, you start with this, get that down turn 2 or turn 1, you're going second. Could put you behind, and again, the super rare versions. Come on. I swear, I'm going to pull those as like my super rares. I'm going to be kind of angry about it, to be honest. Cola Vending Machine, 6-drop, 1500 durability. That's going to be tough to get rid of. Act, once per turn, consume X amount of food, assign 1 pal, choose 1 soul and stand it. Okay. Then choose up to 3 times of X number of souls and stand them. So you can consume 0, assign 1 pal, and stand a soul. But you could also consume as much food as you want and stand those souls too, getting 1 crazy of a turn. I don't think it'll be super playable. I think it'll be a 1 of probably most of the time, just for those cheeky single turns. See, this one's a little bit better. It at least zoomed in enough where I can tell the difference. I probably won't be able to while I'm drawing them. I'm going to look and be like, dang, that's really my super rare? That sucks. Yeah. I think that'll be a 1-up. I think that's more of a tech card. So, Feedbox, 2-drop, 900 durability, kind of a classic. Act, once per turn, consume 1 food, increase your soul by 1 card in the rest state. More ramp. If there were 10 or more souls before increasing, choose 2 souls and stand them instead. Ooh, I love this. It's got to be a couple copies. I mean, that's going to be a staple, I think. That's going to be a staple, as long as you're running a green that gets food. If you're not running a green that was prioritizing food, maybe not. Maybe if you have a couple cards, you're like, okay, I can be cheeky with it. I can get 1 off, that kind of thing. Okay, so we got Ranch, another structure, 2 cost, 800 durability, act, once per turn, assign 1 pal, get either 3 wood or 3 food, and draw 1 card. Ranch is going to be a great structure. I mean, that's an immense amount of resource, and you draw a card. I mean, you got to assign 1 pal. You can only do it once per turn, but still, it's a 2 cost itself. I mean, you're getting that structure down early. I think great things can happen with that. So I think this is our last structure. Yep, and then we get into gear and events. So no pals beyond sign. 5 cost, 1100 durability, act. Once per turn, assign 1 pal. The pal assigned to this card gets the skill in parentheses until the end of the opponent's next turn. Continuous taunt. Okay, so you can just you force them to taunt, go after one of your pals that you assign. I like it. Okay. I get it. I get the No Palace. I get the No Palace Beyond now. That makes more sense. That's a pretty decent card. Again, I don't think super game changing. Although you can turn anything into a taunt, which is annoying. It's really, really annoying. Now, I just am trying to think of what you're going to turn into that taunt. It's got to be fairly sizable. I mean, if you're like, I just need to stop one of their attacks, then yes. That's awesome because it could be any PAL at that point, but I don't know. It's a toss-up for me. It's awesome. I gotta see more about it. 3 cost, Dig Toys' headband. It's one of those specific to a PAL. It does a little bit extra. So act, rest this card. Choose one PAL and it gets plus 200 attack until end of turn. If its main name is Dig Toys, get either 2 wood or 2 food. So you're getting those resources that you need for a few different abilities in green. I have a hard time believing that a green deck is not going to prioritize resources, more specifically food than wood, but paired up with red, it could those either or could really be situational and be really, really fantastic for you. So we've got a 3-drop gear farming hat. Act, rest this card, choose one PAL. It gets plus 200 attack until end of turn, and you get 1 food. So this is still good. If you don't have Dig Toys, it's not as good as this, obviously, but it's a good generic gear that I think is still very playable. I think a lot of the gear plus 200 attack, and you get 1 food every turn. I think that's going to be able to farm some food right there. Pun intended. And so our first event card, Lily's Strategy. So I feel like every color is going to have one of these strategy cards. I have a hard time any of them are going to be better than Victor's Strategy. It's just, that card is universal. Okay. So for 3 souls, choose one of the following. Choose all of your PALs, and they get plus 1,000 attack until end of turn. That's kind of fire. That is an end game. I'm going to clear your board, and I'm going to use 2 PALs, clear your board, and then go face. I'm going to get a W. Or choose one structure or gear and put it into the graveyard. There's our gear removal. That's the only gear removal I've seen so far, unless I've read some cards that say put one card, into the graveyard. I think we've seen put one card from your opponent, from a base into the hand. So I guess I could get rid of gear. Technically, not kind of the gear removal I'm looking for, but or increase your soul by 1 in the rest state. So a little bit more ramp. I mean, you hit a couple of these ramp cards. I think that'd be dangerous. Now, I think this is a fan favorite for a lot of people. You have the OSR, you have the full art version of this card, and then you've got the special parallel. All the event cards that are the people have their special parallel. This is a beautiful card. This is a beautiful card just to look at, and like if you pull it, I mean that's one you're just holding in front of you all day long. Just like that's a fantastic card. Look, I don't think I favor green as much as I favor blue right now. I would say green is above red for me. I'm just not a super aggro player. So top 10 cards I would like for sure. Probably lower on that though. I like it and I like how green plays. It's just that's not my initial find. Not my initial want. Oh, found an egg. Okay. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 PAL from among them and add it to the hand. Add it to hand and shuffle it. Shuffle the rest of the cards with the deck. If you choose 0 cards, you get 3 food. It's a very similar. It's 2 costs. It's a very similar resource grab. Number 3. Not number 3. Sorry, I was reading the cost. 3 cost event. Blessing of the Flower Spirit. Gain 1 life. Draw 1 card. Honestly, kind of fantastic. That could win you a game right there. That card, and it replaces itself, and you gain a life. It's kind of a fantastic card. Oh, we're done with green now. We're moving on to purple. Purple does have my favorite mechanic in it, and that is nighttime. I am super excited about this one. Also, purple is just a sick color, so it's hard to beat. Okay, so we have Hell Zephyr. Wings of the Moonless Knight, 7 cost, Lucky Pal. It's got 700 power and 3 strike. 700 power feels way too low. I don't think we've ever seen something with even power like that, except for like our 2/2s. Like that, I think there are very few that, I don't think there are any that go under, that are like a 7 cost 600. Maybe that's not true. No, I don't think that is true. Wait, I think it is true. So it's got Continuous Nocturnal. If it is night, this card gets plus 300. Nocturnal, incredible. Love it. It's just, can you get it tonight? Can you get it tonight? Auto, when your Nocturnal Pal is deployed, if it is night, choose up to 1 Pal with cost less than or equal to that and put it into the graveyard. If you put 1 or more Pals this way at the end of that turn, rest this card. That is absolutely insane. When your Nocturnal Pal is deployed, if you already have it night, you just get rid of your opponent's Pals, or I think it says, choose up to 1 Pal, it costs less, with the same cost or less. You can just clear blockers, you can clear taunts, you can clear everything, get to your opponent, do damage. Awesome. Love this card. It also has some incredible artwork. Love the over super rare. Just excellent artwork in general. The super special parallel. It's got the lightning crackling all around it. It is a sick card. I love this card. Count me in. Count me in for it. This would be one of my, probably my number 2 chase card, I would say. It looks too cool not to chase. Okay. To Shadowbeak, Seed of Despair. Another Lucky Pal. So it's gonna be tough with the Lucky Pals with purple, I feel like. Just like with blue and green. And maybe it was with red too, but I don't know. I can't remember about red. Red felt like the least issue to me when it came to Lucky Pals. 8 cost. It's got 3 abilities. 8 cost for 1300 power. That seems more reasonable than Hell Zephyr. And then 3 strike. Love 3 strike. Continuous, while this card is in the rest state, it is night. That's how you get to night. Continuous, if it is night, your Pal's auto activates twice. Insane. Getting those autos off twice, awesome. Auto, at the end of your turn, choose up to 1 of your Pals and butcher it. If you butchered 1 or more Pals in this way, your opponent chooses 1 of their Pals and puts it in the graveyard. And that auto activates twice. And because more than likely you're going to attack with Shadowbeak, it'll be rested. If it is night, your Pal's auto activates twice. It has that auto activates twice, but it does say choose up to 1 of your Pals. You don't have to activate this twice. If you don't want to butcher your Pals, if you have Pals that you need on the field, you do not have to do it. It says up to 1, and then activates again, and it says up to 1 again. So you can do 0, but still, you can just force your opponent to have to choose Pals to get rid of, and that hurts. That hurts. That will hurt me if it happens to me. So here is the OSR over super rare, and then special parallel. Absolutely incredible. Big fan. I will say it's probably still top 10, probably like mid-range though. I don't know why, but it didn't have the border to it, like the super special parallels, and I think that border is what's getting me. I think that I think that's what's getting me. But it's still an incredible card. I would not be upset. Do not think that I would be upset pulling that card. Okay, so Catrus, Abyssal Sorcerer, another Lucky Pal. 6 cost, 900, 2 strike. Pretty standard. Act, once per turn, butcher 1 other Pal. This card gets a +1,000 attack, +1 strike until end of turn. 3 strike, still a great number in my opinion. 1,900 damage if you butcher 1 Pal. Insane. Love that. Love that ability, especially if you got, some small Pals, or if you're sitting at 5 and you're like, I need to clear these things out. It's like, boom, butcher 1. And then you got another spot to be able to deploy another Pal. Auto, when your Pal is butchered, choose up to 1 cost X normal Pal from your graveyard and deploy it in the rest state. X is equal to the cost of the butchered Pal -1. So you butcher stronger Pals, guess what? You just get to resurrect these other Pals in the rest state. And those Pals could have activate nighttime on deploy, or activate nighttime while rested. That won't work for Shadowbeak because you would need a 9-cost card. Butchered. Also, it has an OSR. Very awesome. Love that. And then it has a special parallel. I would 100% run this card if I got it as a special parallel. I think... I'm not sure how excited I am for it. I do love recycling pals from the graveyard. That's a great mechanic. It is a lucky pal, so it cuts away from my other lucky pals. I just don't know how I feel about it yet. I think it's going to be played. I think it's going to be very played. I think other people are going to really like it. I just don't know if I personally will like it. Okay, so we've got Tombat out of nowhere. 5 cost, 600 power, 2 strike. 600 power seems kind of underwhelming for me. Pretty underwhelming. Auto on deploy. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 pal from among them and add it to your hand and put the remaining cards into the graveyard. You get some search. You get a little search engine out of it once. But I wouldn't say I'm super excited about this card by any means. I think maybe it's you get that search and then it's just a butcher. It's a butcher target. That could be what Purple's game is. SR, I'm very glad they had its wings go over the sides and the smoke / whatever this is go outside the border, the boundary of the card. Very sick looking art card. I don't think I would. And then here's our, here's the 7 cost interrupt, quick interrupt. But this card usually they have 1200 power. This one has 1100 power, still has 3 strike. But because it has continuous nocturnal, if it is night, this card gets plus 300 damage. So kind of nice if you do have to play it. If you don't, it's still an interrupt in your hand. You got to play 4. And it has a super rare, does a lot of cool stuff, so I would be excited to get this card still. I mean, you got to play 4 of those. It has to happen. An 8-drop, Lylene Noct, Providence of the Goddess, 1700 power, immense amount of power. I think that's probably either the most or second most we've seen. 3 strike. Act, rest this card, discard 1 card from hand, choose 1 6-cost or less pal from your graveyard and deploy it in the rest state. Ooh, so you can just get a straight up 6-cost. I see. Purple is like nighttime, resurrection from the graveyard. I like it. I think this is a pretty awesome card. I think 8 cost, tough. Gonna be a tough one to get out, but it's got huge power, huge capability, and when you rest it, if you're not attacking with it, need to get more board presence, it's a good card. I think this will be decently played. Super rare. Very cool. Doesn't break the card as much as I would like. It does change a little bit, unless that's something I didn't notice last time. Or looking at all these cards last time, like I've only looked at. Yeah, that happens everywhere. So it doesn't break the card as much as I like it to. Depresso, the Late Night Hustler. I have heard people love this card. So for 2 cost, 2 drop, 100 power, 1 strike. Sounds like, why would you play this 2 cost? But it has continuous nocturnal. If it is night, this card gets plus 300. Now, a lot of people were looking at this card like, oh, it got printed incorrectly. It has continuous nocturnal twice. No, it is intentional. It gets it twice. And you can put nocturnal on things that already have nocturnal, and that goes off an additional time. So you can still put nocturnal on him. He gets plus 900. He's 1,000 for 2. Like, if it's night already, or you have some way to make it night, he's a 2-drop 700, which is absolutely insane. I'm a big fan. I think he's going to be a constant card. Run. And I think that this super rare, even though I do not like it very much because it only card breaks right there. And I think they could have done more. I don't know how they could have done more with how he stanced up like that, but I think this will be a sought after card, this super rare, which is just interesting. Daydream for Slumber. It is a 2/2/1, has nocturnal. If it is night, get 300 attack. Can boost up to a 500. And also, night can last through your opponent's turn, so you can have it be a 500 blocker as well. It doesn't have to be just on attack or on your turn. And it has a super rare. This one breaks. I kind of wish it covered some of the 2. Like, not so much that you couldn't see that it was a 2, but like that would have been cool. It would have been very cool. I love when cards do that. Lovander, 5-drop, 800 power, 2 strike. So pretty good distribution there. It's just normal POW, auto on attack. You may discard 1 card from hand. If discarded this way, gain 1 life. Oh, we got to gain 1 life. Okay, we got gain 1 life in purple as well. Okay, so discard, yep, on attack. Okay, I like it. So you can restand this. You can gain 2 life back as long as you attack twice with it and discard twice. So, it's gaining health on condition. But I think the other cards that we saw that gained health were higher cost. So I have no real issue with this card. I don't know how played it'll be, though. 5-drop, 800, not bad, but if you just attack with it, you get the opportunity to discard and gain health. And you can all go over your 10 health as well. You can. Even the little life counter card allows you to go, it shows up to 15, which is nice. I don't think 15 is the cap either. So, should be a fairly good card. Lovander has a super rare, so it breaks out with its tail, its ear, the hearts, stuff like that. So, I respect that. I just don't like the super rares that don't do that, personally. So, we have Daydream, Deep Slumber, 3 cost, 400, 1 strike, pretty normal, nocturnal. So, just another one that's, wants to be night. Wants to be night, then it's a 3/700, great card. Okay, now we're getting into Vanworm, Marauder of the Skies. 4 cost, 600, 2 strike, pretty standard. Auto, on deploy, choose up to 1 PAL, and it gets -300 until end of turn. This is the first debuff I think I've seen thus far. But nonetheless, very cool. If it is not put into the graveyard, even if its attack becomes 0 or less. That's the weird thing about Palworld, is that if you subtract attack from something, that attack technically is its health and attack, but its health is only reduced if it is directly attacked, not if its attack is reduced. It's very unique. Same thing, though, as if you attack a PAL and it doesn't do enough damage to it and do more attack than it has, it still has that on there. So it's got like less health, but it has the same amount of attack. So if you attack it again, you're still going to get that reciprocated 600 in this case, from fighting Vanworm, things like that, which I think is unique. I actually do love it. Okay, I have heard of this card. I have seen this card. I think it's a menace, and it's menacing. Darkness Dwelling Scorpion. 5-drop, Lucky PAL, 700 power, 2 strike, which is honestly a fairly good distribution. Auto Retaliate. When this card is put in the graveyard during battle, put the opposing combat PAL into the graveyard. So if you're attacking this thing and you send it to the graveyard, boom, your guy gets in the graveyard. Does not matter how strong it is, doesn't matter. So you have to try to remove this thing without attacking it. So you're talking like shotgun, you're talking, single shot rifle, things like that. But also auto. When this card is put in the graveyard, choose up to 1 normal PAL from your graveyard and return it to your hand. So no matter if you do that without actually attacking it, your opponent's still going to get a bonus. Your opponent's still going to get a benefit from it. Now, it is a Lucky PAL. How worth it is a Lucky PAL? Yet to be seen. I think it's still a pretty cool card. I think having at least 1, maybe 2 in there, if you can spare the Lucky PALs, I think it's going to be a sick card. Okay, so we have Maraith, Twilight Messenger, 6 cost, 900 power, 2 strike. Pretty solid. Continuous, while this card is in the rest state, it is night. Another card that makes it night. Notice it is not a nocturnal, though. So if it is night, it does not get a plus 300 bonus. Only things that say nocturnal get that plus 300 bonus. Continuous, if it is night, all of your opponent's PALs get minus 200. It is not put in the graveyard, even if their attack becomes 0 or less. So you get the bonus of it being nighttime. If Maraith is on the field and it is nighttime, which if it's rested, it is nighttime. That means assigning it to something too. If it is night, all your opponents get minus 200. You are debuffing them while buffing yourself and a lot of yours. I think Maraith is a consistent 3 in a nocturnal deck and a night deck. of any kind, if not 4. Like, you got to have this guy out. He's gonna be so useful. There are other ways to get it to night that are easier. It just that debuff is fantastic. So here's your classic Nox, the silent one, 3 cost, 500 power, 1 strike, vanilla card. Fairly good. You can slot it in for 3 cost. Excuse me. Loop Moon, Glinting Moonlight, 4 cost, 500 power, 2 strike. Little low on the power for my taste. Good on strike. Auto on to play. If it is night, choose up to 1 6 cost or less PAL in the stand state and put it in the graveyard. Get rid of it. I got nighttime. Boom. Get it out of here, man. You got to love that removal. Instant removal like that. It is conditional if it is night, but there are a couple of different ways for it to be night. We haven't even seen if there are any structures or gear to be able to do that. We've just seen PALs do it. So jumping into structures, 4 cost lamp, 1300 durability. Act once per turn. Put the top 3 cards of the deck into the graveyard. It becomes night until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can mill 3, make it nighttime. I'm hoping there are better ways. I think there are better ways. The PALs are kind of expensive. I hope there's a better way than this, because milling 3 on the top of your deck is tough, especially if you're going to lose lucky PALs that way. I would hate to see that. That'd be a huge feels bad. It's got another ability, continuous. All of your PALs get the skill, in parentheses, continuous nocturnal. It gives all your PALs nocturnal. And that stacks. They already have nocturnal. They get additional nocturnal. So that's awesome. This is a really good structure for nocturnal decks. I think you gotta run multiple copies of that. I think it's gonna be very well played. Lamp has a super rare that I did not notice the change at all. It's a little zoomed in, I guess. That's just gonna make me angry if I pull that though. So we got 2 cost shoddy bed structure, 700 durability. Kind of a low durability. I don't remember other durabilities for 2 costs, but it seems low. Act 1 turn, put the top 3 cards of your deck into the graveyard. It becomes night until the end of... so it has the same act. Okay. So shoddy bed, 2 cost. Can still do the same thing. Auto, at the end of your turn, if you have a nocturnal PAL in the rest state, draw 1 card. Shoddy bed's gotta be played. It is drawing you cards for nocturnals, and it immediately gets you night off of... a mill 3. Shoddy bed's consistent, a staple in those games. So for 4 cost structure, medieval medicine workbench. Sorry if you guys can hear that. I might probably pick that up. Okay, 4 cost medieval medicine workbench. Act 1 once per turn. I think that says 3. Choose 1 cost, assign 1 PAL, then choose 1 cost X or less PAL from your graveyard and deploy it in the rest state. X is equal to the cost of the assigned PAL plus 2. Okay, PAL from your graveyard and deploy it in the rest state. Okay, so a little bit more resurrection. Pretty solid card. I think a little situational. It takes a little bit to get something really, really worthwhile out of it, but still probably worth a copy. And depending on how you play Nocturnal, or maybe you're not even playing Nocturnal, you're playing Resurrection, then it could be a pretty solid card. So we got Wooden Wall, 3 cost, 300 durability, really low durability. Continuous. It's taunt. It's got a taunt. Your opponent cannot attack other targets if a card with taunt can be targeted for an attack. Auto, when this card is put into the graveyard, draw 1 card and it replaces itself. That's fantastic. That's a solid card. I think that's a pretty good taunt, and to keep it away from more important units, PALs. I'm gonna get that. Eventually. I'm gonna figure that one out. Okay. For 3 cost, Viewing Cage, 1300 durability. Wow, that's a pretty high durability for a 3 cost. Act once per turn. Assign 1 PAL. Exile the assigned PAL. Choose 1 cost X or less PAL and exile it. X is equal to the cost of the assigned PAL plus 2. Oh man. Okay, so this is where the exile comes into play. And exiling completely removes them from the game. I mean, they're sitting in a completely different... They're not in the graveyard. Can't resummon them from the graveyard. Can't do anything from the exile. I do think it has a return feature, though. I think the second ability, auto, when this card leaves the base, return all pals exiled by this card to the owner's hand. See, so it has a return feature, but you played it, you don't get to use it, it goes back to your hand, you got to replay it all over again. That hurts. I like that. I like that a lot. Meat Cleaver. Interesting. 2-cost gear. Meat Cleaver. Act, rest this card, butcher 1 pal, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, choose 1 card from among them, and add it to hand, and put the remaining cards into the graveyard. Okay, so for a cost 2, you gotta rest the card, which is fine. Butcher a pal, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, choose 1 card among them. It's a pretty good search engine. It's at the cost of your pals, though, and I'm not sure how much I enjoy that yet. And this SR, what? It's barely different. It's barely different. That I'm going to be a big complaint about that. I think you can do other things. You could even rotate it a little bit. I don't know. I can see Meat Cleaver being fairly decent, especially if you're trying to get things to resurrect into the graveyard. Butchering pals gets them to the graveyard for you so that you can get them right out. I can barely tell the difference between these 2 cards. I don't. Maybe the artwork hasn't been updated on a couple of them, but I think I have been very impressed with this site and how up to date and how well it's been running. So I'm still going to complain about that. If that is the artwork, I'm going to complain about that. Okay. So Daydream's Necklace. We've seen 2 different copies of Daydream. 3 cost. Auto, on to play. Choose up to 1 main name Daydream pal from your hand and deploy it. Oh, you get an extra. Okay. Fantastic. Act. Rest this card. Choose 1 pal and it gets plus 200 until end of turn. It becomes night until the end of the opponent's turn. Rest this card. Choose 1 pal. This is how you get it to night consistently. This is how you even get to cheat in a Daydream into here. This is going to be the card. You're going to have to run 4 of these so that you can keep it nighttime. And especially if there's gear removal, which I have seen very, very little of. So that's kind of a plus. Okay. So this is our first event for purple. Zoe's strategy. Choose up to 1 following. Choose up to 5 of your opponent's wood and or food in total, and your opponent loses them. Unless they're really, really playing to the resources, I don't think that's going to be chosen very often. Unless they're really cooking you with resources, and just you're like, I have to do something about that. I think it's kind of a waste of 3 souls, though. In any other case, unless you are really down bad. Choose up to 1 pal from your graveyard and return it to hand. Your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and discards it. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. Or choose one of your pals and butcher it. If you butchered 1 or more cards this way, choose 1 of your opponent's pals and put it into the graveyard. Oh, so you can force, if you're willing to butcher a pal, and you can kind of cycle these too. It's like, oh, I butchered this, I'm going to get it back. I butchered this, I'm going to get it back. With those 4 copies of Zoe's, I think running multiple copies in there is going to be necessary. And we got the OSR, we got the full art Zoe strategy, and then her looking adorable in this special parallel event card. I think this will be top tier for a lot of people. It depends if I run purple or not. I'll want copies of this, but I can't say that it's broken into my favorite cards thus far. Dark Cannon, 3 soul quick. Choose 1 5 cost or less pal and put it in the graveyard. Just quick removal. It can be on your opponent's turn too. Just get rid of them. Like, don't even worry about it. They attack. It's like, nah, I'm just gonna get rid of this other guy. Or you can play it on your turn too. That's pretty fantastic. Black Marketeer, another event card. 5 costs, choose up to 2 pals without interrupt from your graveyard and return them to hand. It becomes night until the end of your opponent's next turn. That's fantastic, getting 2 pals back, turning into nighttime. A little bit more costly than Daydream's Necklace, but I was going to say, if it didn't specify that don't have interrupt, I was like, you're going to be able to cycle your interrupts with this, and that's going to be filthy. But okay, still a solid card. I think it'll still be fairly playable. I think we'll see copies of it in decks. I think getting pals back to hand is going to be useful. Okay, we're getting into the colorless now. I think there are only 4 colorless cards, I believe, in total. So we're going to have Elphadrin, Gentle, Radiance. It is a dragon. I just want to notice that it is a dragon. Auto on attack, you may reveal 1 card from your hand. If you reveal the Dragon Pal this way, this card gets plus 500 until the end of the turn. And that partners very well with Chill It, because all you do is reveal it. You reveal it from your hand, and it just goes right back. It's like, yeah, I have 1 dragon in my hand. I'm just gonna have now a 4-drop for 1100 every time I'm attacking. Like, that's fantastic. I think in Dragon decks, this will be a staple card. A colorless 3-drop, 500, 1 strike vanilla card. Anybody can plop it in. I think they're probably going to be better free costs in every color, so you won't need to use that all that much. Personally, I think Elphadrin has a lot of opportunity in the Dragon deck, though. 2 cost, the adventure begins. I think this is a unique card. I think it's very situational. If you've not played any other cards during the game, draw 2 cards. So if it's not the first card you have played, that doesn't happen. If you have 3 or more pals with my first in their different card names, choose all of your pals, and they get plus 1,000, plus 5 strike until end of turn. If you have 3 or more pals with my first in their different card names, choose all of your pals, and they get 1,000. I don't know. If you have 3 or more pals, I guess that must mean in your base. You must have showed them in your base. They all get plus 1,000 attack and plus 5 strike. If you're going face, I mean, first of all, they're probably going to hit a lucky. That's 15 cards that you're going to mill, more than likely. They don't block or anything like that. They're going to probably hit up. I think it's just situational. It's kind of funny. It's got a super rare art that just zooms in a little bit, so I'm not a big fan of that. Now we are getting to, I know this is a long video. If you guys have stuck with me here, I appreciate it. You've even been watching it get dark. We have the soul card. You have to have 10 in your soul deck. You can't have no more, no less. But it does have an ability. During your turn, you may rest 3 souls once during your main phase to draw a card. More than likely, you won't have to do that. I'm hoping you don't have to do that. But it's still a draw engine that's built into the game, which is very, very nice. Those are always going to be awesome. So we are going to get into the trial decks now. One thing that people are controversial about is that the trial decks have trial deck exclusive cards. All the cards in them are exclusive. So you have to buy a trial deck to get these cards. And they have exclusive rarities, which is trial deck, a special parallel, and they also have trial deck super rares, and they have trial deck super special parallels, I believe. So you can only get them if you get lucky and find them in the trial deck / I don't even know if you can find them in the pack afterwards. I think the pack afterwards, you can't find them. It has to be in the deck. As you open the deck, you'll find different rarities. So we'll go through those, kind of end the video. So we've got Grizzbolt, Rumbling Tank, 7-drop, 1,600, 4 strike, hugely powerful card. Lucky Pal, Continuous Assault. This card can attack pals in the stand state. I mean, he's going after everybody. He's a solid card. I think if you have this, I think he's going to be a menace. We have the super rare where he breaks out of the card a bit. He's really big. He's really menacing. I think he's going to be super playable. And we have the special parallel. I think these special parallels are going to be super difficult. I think they're going to be way more difficult to get than any of the other special parallels. Maybe even super special parallels. I don't know. Because you only get 2 opportunities, I think, in most of the decks for these. I think it comes with like 2 Grizzbolts or something like that. And he's a Lucky Pal, so you can only get so many. You can only have so many. You got 2 300 power, 1 strike. Joltog, Shocking Yet Innocent, Classic Vanilla, 2-drop. I think he's a good vanilla 2-drop. You have your classic 3, 500, 1 strike. Kelpsea Ignis, Balmy Magma, vanilla. I think he's a good 3-drop. We get into Foxparks, 4 quick. A Toasty Hug. It has the interrupt ability. It's a 400, 2 strike. I think you're going to be mainly using this for its ability or with Foxparks Harness. But still, you can get them. I mean, it's interrupt. You need more interrupt. You always need more interrupt. Excuse me. Now we got Arsox, 5-drop, 800 power, 2-strike. Arsox Burning Spoils. Auto on deploy, get 2 wood. It's a resource builder. He's pretty beefy. 5 for 800 is not bad at all. 2-strike, love 2-strike. I think a pretty solid card. He has a super rare copy as well. Then we have Mosanda, Lux, Vanguard, Captain. Act, consume 2 wood. This card gets plus 500 until end of turn. He's a 6-drop, 1100, 2-strike. But when you consume 2 wood, 1600 for 6-drop, incredible. I think just the 6-drop, 1100 is super good. I mean, that's kind of what red does. Red aggroes, red gets after it. I think it'll be very played in red that is trying to get that job done. That's just what I would expect. Another Lucky Pal, 800, Blaze Mutt, Molten Sovereign, auto on deploy, choose up to 1 pal and deal 1,000 damage to it. He's at 8, 1600, 3-strike. So, same power, if we look back up, same power as Grisbolt, 1 last strike, which kind of I like better, to be honest. And then also on deploy, just do 1,000 damage. That's kind of tough. That's pretty tough. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that. Okay. And then it has its super rare and it breaks out the card. I think this will be decently playable. I don't know how much you want it to take up your lucky slots. That's my only thing, is I just don't know if it'll fit in that manner. Okay, so we got Stone Pit, 1 cost, 600. Act once per turn, assign a pal, get 3 wood, and add 1 and draw 1 card. You can rest your standing pal to assign it. That's incredible, especially if you're going turn 1, going second. Play something down, assign it, get that wood for the next turn to be able to start really getting into stuff. Stone Pit has a super. I can barely tell. I just knew that it was a super rare. Weapon Workbench, 3 cost, 1100 durability. It's really solid durability. Act once per turn, consume 1 wood, assign 1 pal, choose up to 1 pal, and deal 800 damage. Choose all of your pals, and they get plus 1 strike until the end of the turn. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. Especially for ramp decks trying to really get after you. I think that's going to be a really played card. Now, this is probably one of the most played cards in red. 4-drop gear, single shot rifle, auto on deploy, deal 1500 damage to 1 pal. Act has the classic, rest it, choose 1 pal, and you get plus 200. That pal gets plus 200 till the end of the turn. I think that single shot is going to be multiple copies of, and just slaughtering pals left and right. We got Ignis Breath, an event card, quick, choose 1 pal and deal 500 damage, immediate damage. I mean, that's what red likes to do. It's like, I'm just going to play this and do damage to you. This has a super rare, which is a little bit better. It does card break, and the flames are a little bit more intense, it feels like, just because they're closer. So I can actually get behind that card. I can get behind that one. I think this is going to be also very consistent in every red deck. We got Alphadrin, Aqua, Gentle Ripples, 6-drop Dragon for 900, 2-strike. Not bad numbers. Auto on deploy, draw 2 cards. Choose 1 card from hand and put it on the top of your deck. Still very playable card. It's got good search to it. It's just that you put 1 card back on top, so you're kind of not filtering like you would normally want to. Still playable card. I think this will be played in Dragons. It does have a special parallel that looks absolutely beautiful. But I guess I went to the special parallel before I went to the super rare, which does break the edges and the card break a lot. I'm a big fan. But that special parallel is absolutely insane. This will be a top chase card. I'm very much looking forward to this. This is definitely in my top 10. I don't know if it's breaking my top 5 though. And we are in blue. Sorry, I didn't mean to not mention that. 2 cost, 300, 1 strike, vanilla card. Classic. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be played. To what extent, it completely depends on the archetype and the archetype of the deck and what other 2-drops they have available. 3-drop, 500, 1 strike, Panglet, frequent flyer. More Panglets to play. Panglet does have a super rare, and they kind of break out of the frame a little bit. I wish they did a little bit more, but you can only win so much. Hangyu Christ, Frigid Wanderer, 4 cost, 600 in power, 2 strike. That's all right. Auto on deploy, choose up to 1 3 cost or less PAL and rest it. So blue, back to that resting, getting rid of those blockers, getting rid of those everything else. So you can go through, hit your opponent. Ragnarök is a 5 cost quick. We already know the quick ability, 5 cost, 600 power, 2 strike. I mean, it's going to be put in decks for the quick ability. I mean, if you're playing it, it just kind of feels bad because you can have a lot better 5 cost cards, I feel like. So, with Interrupt, got to have it in the deck. Suzaku Aqua, Way of the Current, 7 cost, Lucky Pal, 1200 power, 3 strike. Powerful. Obviously, we know, it's no 600 Grisbolt, 1600 Grisbolt, but it has a Vigilance auto. At the end of your turn, stand this card. It's going to be hard to get off the board because you cannot attack it. And then when it stands itself, it becomes a blocker. And it's a 1200 blocker. I mean, there are a handful of cards that can get through it in one go without being boosted in some way. So, I think, great card. Excellent card. It's got a super rare variant as well. It breaks out several times. I very much appreciate that. I very much like the artwork. Okay, so we've got Lucky Pal, 8 cost, Memorous Creased, Roar of the Tundra, 1700 power, immense amount of power, 3 strike, continuous attack. This card gets plus 200 for each of your structures. You can boost this baby as much as you want. I mean, just keep putting structures down. Act, discard 1 structure from hand. This card gets plus 1 strike until end of turn. You can do that as many times as you want. You can get rid of them and go for as many strike. I just think that the more strike you have, the higher likelihood that your opponent is going to get a lucky. And that's unfortunate. That feels bad. But there's also a Lucky Pal, so you got to be careful. It's an 8-drop. How much opportunity are you going to get? You know what I mean? Like, that's how much value you're going to get out of it. It's huge, though. It's going to be hard to get rid of them. They're going to have to go around it, or really boost up something to be able to get away from it. Okay, so we've got structures now, and this is also the red-blue trial deck that we've been going through. Shows at the beginning. My bad. So 2 cost, antique wooden chair, 1200 durability. Pretty solid durability for a 2 cost. Auto on deploy. Choose up to 1 PAL, and it gets plus 1000 until end of turn. So deploy it, get 1000 attack on 1. I mean, that could help you take out some giant PAL, and help you, or get rid of an annoying taunter with a small guy, that kind of thing. So I think a lot of opportunity for antique wooden chair. It also is antique. We can't forget about the antique deck. Primitive Workbench, 3 cost, 1100 durability. Act once per turn, assign 1 PAL, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a 6 or less, I think that's at 6 or less, structure or gear, you may deploy it. If you did not deploy it, add it to your hand. So you can sneak out structures or gears with Primitive Workbench. If not, you just get a draw, which is just assigning 1 PAL, draw. There are a couple cards that do a little bit better than that, but I think that'll be a pretty useful card, if not have a couple copies in decks. So we got 3 costs, single shot sphere launcher, auto on deploy, draw 1 card. So immediately replaces itself. Act, rest this card, choose 1 PAL, and gets plus 200. So, you can either be doing damage with some of the guns and weapons and gear, or you can have utility to them. I think that's pretty solid. I think mixing it up with some of the single shots or other weapons that are gear is going to be really useful. We've got a quick Crystal Breath, 2 costs. I think this is an insane card. Choose 1 PAL and it gets -3. Strike until the end of the turn. This card does not stand during your opponent's next turn. Completely frozen. And it's not like, as long as, this is an event card. This is just 1 play. Whoops. Accidentally hit my desk. It's just a 1 play, -3. So most things won't have any strike to be able to hit you with. So they'll have to attack pals, but then they cannot stand their next phase. I think this is an incredible card. I think you've got to play a ton of those. It's got a super rare version as well that breaks. There's a card break. Fantastic. I think that's going to be super playable. I would be surprised if it wasn't getting play. Lamball, my first pal. It's one of those my first pals. So two cost, 200, 1 strike. Continuous. This card can't be attacked by 4 cost or greater pals. You gotta get rid of it with 3 cost or less. 3 or 2 cost pals. I think it'll be probably playable just because of that restriction. But people are playing 2 or 3 costs, and they'll usually have 300 or some way to get boosted pretty easily. Rib Bunny, Little Princess, 2 cost, auto when this is 200, 1 strike. When this card is put in the graveyard, get 1 wood, so you can kind of recycle. You can run this into something, hopefully weaken it so you can get rid of it, and then get 1 wood. So a colorless resource card. It also has a super rare. I do like the card break. I respect the card break. Souls in the actual trial deck, they look the exact same though. I haven't looked at that closely, but I'm assuming they're the exact same. So we're getting into the green-purple deck now. So Masanda, Guard Captain, 5 cost 900, 2 strike. Your vanilla card for green. It's also got a super rare version, and it's got a special parallel version. I like the special parallel version. I just don't know how much I will play like a vanilla card like that. I'm sure that they're going to have play. I'm sure they're going to see play. It's like, yeah, you want a 5/9 in your deck. And it's like, so I wouldn't be upset getting him, but I'm going to have to look for a deck list that plays him like super, super consistently. Otherwise, I will be upset about it. Okay. So, Gumas, Dreamy Seedling, 2, 3, 1, really standard. Floppy, 3 for 400, 1 strike, Snack Lover, on deploy, get 2. Some of these cards I feel like I have read before, so I don't think they're completely exclusive. I don't think they're completely exclusive to the trial decks, but I think some of the cards are completely exclusive to the trial deck. So, yeah, maybe it's just the rarity. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to double check now. We'll double check later. And so you get 2 deploy, get 2 food. Dynasome. Radiant Fragrance. I had to really think through that one. That one was throwing me off. 4 quick. This is your interrupt. 400, 2 strike. We've seen others that are very similar to this, but you are going to want to play 4 of them. You need your interrupts in your deck. It's necessary. It is completely necessary to have them. So, Ecthordeer, Terra, Guardian of Nature, 6 cost, 800, 2 strike. Okay, not as powerful as I want him to be. Continuous, he's a taunter though, that's why. Act, consume 2 food, and this card gets plus 500 until end of turn. That's why. If you can get food, he becomes a 1300 taunter. That's why he has. That's impressive. I could see him being teched into things, especially if you're trying to protect certain structures, certain pals, that kind of thing. Another lucky pal, 7 cost, Bronze Cherry, Brimming Adoration, 1500 power, 3 strike, very solid, very good. A continuous, it is a big taunter. It is a huge taunter. So green does love taunting, and it has a super rare. I think this is a really solid card. I don't know if it would be over the other 7 cost or 8 cost taunter that was in the regular set. I think it would be a toss-up. I'd have to see the utility between both of them, like wow, and then test them out and play both of them to see if which one's more worth it. So Mammorest, Roar of the Winds, 8 cost, 2000 power. That's the highest power we've seen. 4 strike auto. When this card is put into the graveyard, get 3 food, so you can cycle food. It is a lucky pal. It is on 8. It is 2000 though. Immediately can take out pretty much anything unless something has Nocturnal and is a giant, that kind of thing. Otherwise, it ain't happening cheap. It has a super rare version as well. Okay, so into our first structure, Berry Plantation, 1 cost, 600 durability, low durability, but it's also a 1 cost structure. Act once per turn, assign 1 pal, get 3 food, and draw 1 card. Classic. I think we've seen that before. It has a super rare. Sorry if you guys can hear my fridge. Classic. And then Campfire. I believe we have seen consume 2, 3 cost, 1100 durability. Act once per turn. Consume 2 food. Assign 1 pal. You gain 1 life. Choose all of your pals, and they get plus 1000 attack until end of turn. Yep, I think we have seen that. Fairly solid. Could see some use. Refined Metal Spear. We definitely haven't seen this yet. 6 cost gear. Rest this card, choose 1 pal, and it gets plus 900 till end of turn. So this is one of the gears that boosts you more and doesn't have like an on-deploy ability. I think that's pretty decent. I could see it getting some pretty good use. Quick Stone Blast, choose 1 pal, and it gets plus 500. So instead of debuffing like some do, or some other smaller effect, just straight buff here for 2. Gotta love it. All right, we're getting into purple, getting into the last little bit, and then there'll be a little bit of colorless, and then we can kind of close up. So, Astagon, Aegis Wyvern of Death, 8 cost, lucky pal. So, oops. Auto, it's 1200 power, 3 strike. So, it's on the lower range of the 8 costs. But on deploy, choose up to 1 pal, and it gets minus 1000 until end of turn. Now, that doesn't send them to the graveyard. They're just minuses 1000 of their attack, not in effect like their health, even though it's the same number. Auto on attack. Choose all pals that are 300, and this is on when you attack, after you have already obviously deployed. 300 or less health, or less attack, and put them into the graveyard. Choose your pals too, though. So that is, kind of double-edged sword, but boy, could you just drop something super crazy. I think Astagon will be a very big, and he's a dragon. I think he will be very big for dragon deck, and probably a lot of purple, maybe not necessarily night purple. He does have an SR, and he has probably one of the coolest arts, and it's probably like my 3rd favorite chase card, which sucks because it's a trial deck chase card, so you can only get in the trial decks. But look at that. That's absolutely insane. He is a menace to society. Okay. So we got 2, 300, 1, Hucrates, Embodiment of Wisdom. Classic. You're going to find those everywhere. 3, Leespunk. I think he's the only one that has power lower than what he costs, like if it was like a 1 to 100 ratio. And so Leespunk, Treasure Bandit, 1 strike, auto. When this card is put in the graveyard, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and discards it. And I understand why. You want it to go to the graveyard. You want to push it into something strong. You want it to die. You want it to trade. You want it to trade with something, like one of your opponent's 2 drops, and then you make them discard. I think it's a really good card. He has a super rare version that does break. I think it'll be pretty playable. Cognito, Looming Shadow, 4 cost, 300. Purple's really doing it to me now. They called me out. They were like, no, we do this a lot. And 2 strike, Stealth. This card cannot be blocked. Gotta love it. Goes straight through any form of blocking. Easy. But that does not mean, though, that it goes through Taunt. Taunt still affects it. I think that'll be a fairly playable tech card. I think it'll be very situational when your opponent has up a couple blockers. You need to do 1 damage, 2 damage. I think it had 2 strike. Yep, 2 damage to win the game. You got your 5, 900, 2 strike, Incineram, Lurking Stalker. Your vanilla card. I think it'll see some play. It's got a super rare version. Breaks out of the frame pretty nicely. This is your Interrupt. 6 for 900, 2 strike. Hopefully, you're probably not going to be using it for actually playing it down, but for its interrupt effect. Could be a 4 of. Felbat Lifestealer. 7 cost, Lucky Pal, 1000 power, 3 strike. Continuous, has stealth, can't be blocked. Still has to be to go through taunt, though. Auto, on attack, gain 1 life. You gotta love something that's attacking, getting you life. So it's gonna be a high target. It's gonna be a big target for you, for your opponent. You're not gonna get that off that many times. Maybe twice, and get 2 health, which is huge. That's a 5th of your health. Has a super rare version that does a little card break. I mad respect for that. Then we get into the structure for this deck. Hanging Trap, I actually do like Hanging Trap a lot. 2 cost, 900 durability. Act once per turn, assign a pal. If there are no pals exiled by this card in the exile zone, choose 1 pal and exile it. You may rest as your standing pal to assign it. Auto, when this card leaves the base, deploy the pal exiled by this card into the owner's base in the rest state. So get rid of that card that's been bothering you until they get rid of Hanging Trap, and then they get it back, but it's rested, so it can't immediately do anything. I love that card. I think that's going to be super well played. I think that any exile deck is going to play that. And, I mean, just purple in general might play it. Cognito Hat, I love this. 4 cost. You can get plus 200 attack and give something stealth. I mean, going through blockers is going to be huge. I think this is going to be a very played card. I don't think it's going to be 4 copies in a deck or anything, but I think it's going to be, a 1 or 2 kind of thing. So then we got one of the best cards, I think, in purple, Strike from the Darkness, 4 costs, choose 1 pal and put it in the graveyard. It is, there's another removal in purple that was for 6 cost or less, and it was a quick, so it could be played on your opponent's turn. This is just straight removal for 4. I mean, it doesn't matter how strong it is, doesn't have any conditions, it's just cost 4, get removed, remove 1 pal. I think that's an incredible card. It's got a super rare. I think you have to play a few copies if you're playing purple. It's value. It's insane late game value, and late game removal. Removal is always going to be powerful. Okay, getting down to the last few cards. So for 7 cost, event, medical supplies, choose 1 8 cost or less pal from the graveyard, deploy it in the rest state. Just resurrection. Most value, obviously, you're getting is an 8 cost card from the graveyard. And you can cycle stuff into the graveyard to be able to do that a turn early. So I think it's decent. I don't think it's anything groundbreaking. If it was for any less, then it would be. Then getting something early like that. Well, I guess it depends. It depends on early. If you're playing second, then it is truly early. If you're playing first, it's not necessarily early. You just get 1 more soul to be able to do something with. Okay. Getting into our colorless cards, Cativa, my first pal, another one of my first pals, so it can't be attacked by 3 cost or less pals. I think the other one says the same thing. Wait, no, can't be attacked by 3 cost or less pals. So it can't be attacked by the things you drop early. The land ball can't be attacked by things with 4 cost or more. So it's tough to get rid of late game. You have to have a small drop to be able to get rid of it. It has a super rare as well. I think that's hilarious. And then you have the other Chickpea, My First Pal, the other one that you need for that My First Pal event card that goes so crazy. Auto, when this card is put into the graveyard, you get 1 food instead. So it's a 2/200, 1 strike. It also has a super. So guys, that is the entire set, both in the actual booster packs and booster boxes to the trial decks, all rarities, all reviewed. I think this set, it has incredible cards. I really don't feel like there are any cards that are super not playable. I think that, maybe they're tech cards where it's like, oh, in a nuanced deck, maybe that makes sense, that kind of thing. But everything seems awesome. I mean, there's definitely some archetypes that I'm super excited to play. I'm super excited to get product. And be able to open it and start making decks. I am very much planning on hitting up some grand release tournaments that are around the area, and then also going to weekly shop tournaments. Really going to get into the competitive mind. I want to do well at this game, and I'm super excited to bring you guys on the journey. I will, as long as my opponent allows, I will be doing recordings just at the table. And also, kind of in between rounds, that kind of thing for tournaments, and before tournaments, I will also show you the decks that I'm going to be running, the archetypes that I'm having fun with, and then also we'll get some practice gameplay in with friends, just because, you got to do that. You want to be successful, you got to do all the work for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed making it. I loved going through this. I'm planning on doing this for a couple different of the other TCGs. I love that 2 of my favorite arts are just right next to each other. I'm going to go do this for the other TCGs as well. I just thought this was a really timely one that I wanted to get done, because the game comes out so soon and I'll be opening product so soon. So if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell so that you get alerts to when I make more content. Excuse me. And then also make sure to comment down below what cards, if you're thinking about playing Palworld, what cards are you hoping to get if you're going to get product? What decks do you want to see played? And what kind of Palworld videos do you want to see from me? I mean, let me know, guys. I'm excited to be able to jump in and get whatever needs to be started going. I will end it there for you guys. Thanks for hanging out for the full 2.5 hours this was. This was way longer than I expected it to be. I almost cut it into 4 pieces, but we just got after it. So, until next time, peace.